On Christmas morning, my son handed me coffee. "Dad, drink this special brew I made for you." Something felt wrong. His hands trembled. Not a nervous shake, the kind you get from cold or excitement. This was deeper, a muscle-level thing. The ceramic mug rattled against the saucer when he set it down in front of me. His smile was too wide. Too many teeth. The kind of expression you practice in a mirror until it looks natural, except it never does. Not quite. The eyes don't match. They stay flat while the mouth performs. I've known this kid for 32 years. Changed his diapers, taught him to ride a bike, paid for his college, his wedding, his down payment. I know his tells better than he knows mine. When he turned away, I switched my cup with his wife's. She was on her phone in the kitchen doorway. Hadn't looked up once since I arrived. Usually, she's all over me with questions. How's work? How's the drive? Did we bring the dessert she requested? Today? Nothing. Just thumbs moving across the screen. Her coffee sat on the side table next to my chair, forgotten. I made the swap smooth, casual, picked up her mug like I was examining the pattern. Set mine in its place. The whole thing took 3 seconds. Trevor, that's my son's name, Trevor, came back with the cream. "You want sugar, Dad?" "Black's fine." "You sure?" "I made it strong." "I like it strong." He nodded, that smile again. "Okay. Well, Merry Christmas." "Merry Christmas, son." I raised the mug, his wife's mug, took a small sip, normal coffee, maybe a little bitter, nothing special, just Folgers with delusions of grandeur. Trevor watched me drink. His jaw was tight, his shoulders were up near his ears. When I lowered the mug, he exhaled like he'd been holding his breath underwater. "Good?" he asked. "It's coffee." "Right. Yeah, of course." He left the room. I heard him in the kitchen, murmuring to his wife. Her name is Jennifer. She grew up in Connecticut, has opinions about thread count and the correct way to fold fitted sheets. She once spent 20 minutes explaining why our neighborhood was déclasse compared to hers. I've never liked her much. My wife, Trevor's stepmother, was upstairs getting dressed. We'd driven in from 2 hours away, left at 5 in the morning to beat traffic. She hates morning drives, hates my son's house, hates Jennifer most of all. But it's Christmas, and you do these things. I sat in Trevor's living room with my switched coffee and waited. 30 minutes later, Jennifer started screaming. Not words, just sound. High and ragged. The kind of noise that means something's gone very wrong in the body. I was on my feet before Trevor came running. He found her in the downstairs bathroom. I got there second. She was on the floor, knees pulled up, arms wrapped around her stomach. Her face was gray, sweat soaked through her silk blouse. "Call 911, Trevor said. His voice was flat, mechanical. "Already doing it," I said. Pulled out my phone, started dialing. "No, wait," Jennifer gasped. Don't call." "You need a hospital," I said. No hospital, just give me a minute." Trevor knelt beside her, put his hand on her back. "Jenny, you're really sick. We should—" "I said no!" She shoved him, hard. He fell back on his ass. "Get away from me." I finished dialing, gave the address to the operator, told them we had a woman in her early 30s, severe abdominal distress, possible poisoning. Trevor's head snapped toward me. "Poisoning?" "What else would you call it? It's probably food poisoning from last night. We all ate the same thing last night. I feel fine. You feel fine." Jennifer retched. Nothing came up. Dry heaves. The operator kept me on the line until the ambulance arrived. 8 minutes. Felt longer. Jennifer curled tighter, stopped screaming, started whimpering. Trevor stood in the corner with his hands in his pockets. He wouldn't look at me. My wife came downstairs in her good dress, took one look at the scene and said, "What happened?" "Medical emergency," I said. "What kind?" "The kind that needs an ambulance." She looked at Jennifer, at Trevor, at the mug still sitting on the side table in the living room, the one I'd been drinking from, the one that used to be Jennifer's. Her eyes met mine. She knew. The paramedics took Jennifer out on a stretcher. Trevor rode with her. Before he left, he turned to me. "Dad, Go with your wife," I said. "We'll meet you there." He nodded, got in the ambulance, didn't say anything else. The door closed. The siren started. They pulled away. My wife stood next to me on the front steps. Cold air bit at my face. I could see my breath. "You switched the cups," she said. "Yes." "How did you know?" "I didn't, not for sure." "But you suspected." His hands were shaking. She was quiet for a moment. Then, "What do we do now?" "We go to the hospital. We act concerned. We don't say anything about the coffee. They'll test her. They'll find something." "Maybe." "Maybe not. Depends what it was." I didn't answer right away. Stood there looking at the street. Christmas lights on every house. Wreaths on every door. "I think he tried to make me very sick," I said. "Sick enough to need help. Sick enough to need them." "Why?" "I don't know yet." "Should we call the police?" "And tell them what? That I switched coffee cups because my son smiled wrong?" She touched my arm. "He could try again." "Yeah," I said. "He could." We got in the car. Drove to the hospital. Didn't talk much. She kept her hand on my knee. Squeezed once. At a red light, she said, "When did you stop trusting him?" I thought about it. Tried to pinpoint the exact moment. Couldn't. "I don't know if I ever did," I said. "Not completely. Maybe that makes me a bad father. Or a smart one." The light changed. We drove. The hospital waiting room smelled like disinfectant and burnt coffee. Trevor sat in a plastic chair, staring at his phone. He looked up when we walked in. "How is she?" my wife asked. "They're running tests. They think it might be her gallbladder." "Her gallbladder?" "Yeah, gallstones. They can cause symptoms like this." I sat down across from him. "When did she start having gallbladder problems?" "She hasn't, but they said it can happen suddenly." "Convenient." His eyes narrowed. "What's that supposed to mean?" "Nothing. Just making an observation." "You think I don't know what you did?" My wife tensed beside me. I kept my voice level. "What did I do, Trevor?" "You switched the cups. I saw you. You were in the kitchen. I came back, looked through the doorway, saw you swap them. And you didn't say anything? I didn't think—" He stopped, ran his hand through his hair. "I didn't think it mattered." But it did matter. "Dad, I don't know what you think is going on. I think you handed me coffee and your hands were shaking. I think your wife ignored me all morning. I think 30 minutes after I drank from her cup, she was on the floor screaming. I think those are facts. You want to tell me what connects them?" He stood up. "I don't have to listen to this. Sit down." "Excuse me?" "Sit down." Something in my voice made him hesitate. He sat, slowly, like he was lowering himself into cold water. I leaned forward, elbows on my knees, looked him in the eye. "Here's what's going to happen," I said. "You're going to stay with your wife. Make sure she gets treated. I'm going back to your house. Your mother and I are going to pack our things. We're going home." "Dad, when your wife is discharged, you're going to take her home. You're going to take care of her. And you're not going to contact me. Not for a while." "How long is a while?" "Until I say otherwise." His hands curled into fists. "You can't just cut me off." "I'm not cutting you off. I'm creating distance. There's a difference." "This is insane. You're acting paranoid." "Maybe. Or maybe I'm acting careful. We'll see which one it is." A nurse called Trevor's name. He stood, looked down at me. "You're making a mistake." "Wouldn't be my first." He walked away. Disappeared through the double doors. My wife let out a long breath. "That went well," she said. "Better than expected." "What now?" "Now we go back to the house, look around, see what we can find." "You think he left evidence?" I think people who do stupid things usually do them stupidly. We left the hospital, drove back through streets lined with Christmas cheer. My wife turned on the radio, found a station playing carols, turned it off again. "Do you remember when he was little?" she asked. "How he used to follow you everywhere?" "Yeah." "What changed?" "He grew up, realized I wasn't special, just another guy taking up space." "You don't believe that?" "Don't I?" She looked out the window. "He was 13 when his mother died. Maybe that's when it started." "Maybe. You never talked to him about it, about her." "There wasn't much to say. She was gone. Nothing I could do would bring her back." "He needed something from you. Comfort, reassurance, something. And I didn't give it to him. I'm not saying that, I'm just—" "You're right. I know you're right. But I can't change what happened 15 years ago. I can only deal with what's happening now." She touched my hand. "What is happening now?" "I don't know yet. But I'm going to find out." We pulled into Trevor's driveway. His house looked the same as it did an hour ago. Same wreath, same lights, same everything. But something felt different, like walking into a room where someone just stopped talking about you. I unlocked the front door with the spare key Trevor gave us last year. "In case of emergencies," he'd said. Handed it over with that same too-wide smile. Inside, everything was neat. Too neat. The living room looked staged, like a showroom. Pillows arranged just so. Coffee table books no one actually read. A candle that probably cost $40 and smelled like nothing. My wife went upstairs to pack. I stayed down. Walked through the rooms. Touched nothing. Just looked. The kitchen was clean. Dishes done. Counters wiped. The coffee maker sat in its designated spot. No grounds in the trash. No mugs in the sink. Everything put away. Too clean. I opened the trash can. Empty. Freshly lined bag. No smell. He'd taken it out recently. Real recently. I checked under the sink. Cleaning supplies, dish soap, extra bags, normal stuff. But pushed to the back, behind the Windex, was a cardboard box. Small. The kind that holds tea or vitamins. I pulled it out. Read the label. Ipecac syrup. Old school. The stuff they used to give kids who swallowed poison. Makes you vomit. Hard. For a long time. They don't recommend it anymore. Too harsh. But you can still buy it at some pharmacies. I turned the box over. Receipt stapled to the back. Dated 3 days ago. Purchased at a CVS 2 towns over. Paid cash. I put the box back exactly where I found it. Pushed the Windex back in place. Closed the cabinet. So that was it. Not poison. Just something to make me sick. Violently sick. Sick enough to need help. Sick enough to be weak. But why? I went back to the living room. Looked at the bookshelves. The photos. Trevor and Jennifer on their wedding day. Trevor and Jennifer at the beach. Trevor and Jennifer at some charity gala. All smiles. All perfect. No photos of me. None of my wife. None of Trevor's mother. I pulled out my phone. Opened the browser. Searched for ipecac symptoms. Found what I expected. Severe nausea, vomiting, diarrhea. Muscle weakness. In extreme cases, heart problems. Dehydration. Someone who took ipecac would need medical attention, would need to be hospitalized, would need someone to make decisions for them if they couldn't. Power of attorney. That's what this was about. Get me sick, get me weak, get me to sign something. Or maybe have it already prepared. Forged signature. Who would question it if I was in the hospital, too sick to object? My wife came downstairs with our bags. Ready? Almost. I went to Trevor's home office, tried the door. Locked. Of course it was. I used my credit card on the lock. Took me 3 tries. The door swung open. The office was as neat as the rest of the house. Desk clear, computer off. Filing cabinet in the corner. I tried the filing cabinet, also locked. I used the same credit card trick. This one was easier. Inside were folders, tax returns, insurance policies, mortgage documents, everything labeled and organized, and in the back, a folder marked Dad. I pulled it out, opened it. Inside were documents, financial documents, statements from my bank, my investment accounts, my retirement fund, all printed out, dated over the last 6 months. How did he get these? I flipped through them. Someone had highlighted certain sections, made notes in the margins, calculated totals, my total. At the bottom of the folder was a printed email, from Jennifer to Trevor. Subject line, the plan. I read it. Then I read it again. Then I put everything back exactly as I found it. Locked the filing cabinet, locked the office door, went downstairs. My wife was waiting by the front door. Everything okay? No, I said. But we're leaving anyway. We loaded the car, drove away. I watched Trevor's house shrink in the rearview mirror until it disappeared. What did you find? My wife asked. Evidence. Of what? Premeditation. She waited for me to continue. I didn't. Not yet. I needed time to process, time to think, time to decide what I was going to do about it. We drove in silence for 20 minutes. Then my phone rang. Trevor. I let it go to voicemail. He called again. I declined it. A text came through. Dad, we need to talk. I deleted it. Another text. I know you're angry, but you don't understand. Deleted. Another. It's not what you think. Deleted. My wife looked at me. You're going to have to deal with him eventually. I know. What are you going to do? I haven't decided yet. You have options, police, lawyers, family confrontation, all of which require proof, real proof, not just suspicions and circumstantial evidence. You said you found evidence. I found papers he could claim were just research, just information he gathered for legitimate reasons. A prosecutor wouldn't touch it. So what then? So I need more. More what? More rope, enough to hang himself with. She was quiet for a moment. Then, that sounds dangerous. Probably. I don't like it. You don't have to. But you're going to do it anyway. Yes. She turned away, looked out the window. I don't want to lose you. You won't. You can't promise that. No, I can't. But I can promise I'll be careful. Careful how? Careful like this morning. Careful like switching cups. That was instinct. Then I'll make instinct into strategy. We crossed the county line. 40 more minutes to home. I thought about Trevor, about Jennifer, about the ipecac and the documents and the plan they'd put together, the plan that involved making me sick, making me weak, making me sign my life away. It wasn't about money. Not really. Money was just the tool, the means. What they wanted was control, power, the ability to make decisions, to run things, to push me aside and take over. Trevor had always been impatient, even as a kid. Couldn't wait for Christmas, couldn't wait for his birthday, couldn't wait to grow up, and now he couldn't wait for me to die naturally. He needed to speed things along, but he'd made a mistake, a big one. He'd underestimated me, thought I was just some old guy, worn out, worn down, easy to manipulate, easy to dispose of. He was wrong, and I was going to show him exactly how wrong. We got home just after dark, carried our bags inside. The house felt empty, cold. We'd been gone less than 12 hours, but it felt like longer. My wife went to the bedroom. I heard her crying, soft, trying to stay quiet. I didn't go to her. She needed space, time to process, to grieve, because that's what this was. Grief. For the family we thought we had. The son we thought we knew. I went to my workshop in the basement, sat at my bench, stared at my tools. I build things. Always have. Furniture, cabinets, small repairs. It's what I do, what I've always done. Taking raw materials and turning them into something useful, something solid. I could do the same with this situation. Take what I had, shape it, refine it, turn it into something I could use. But first, I needed a plan. I pulled out a notebook, started writing, listed everything I knew, Everything I suspected, everything I could prove, everything I couldn't. The list was longer than I expected. By midnight, I had a rough outline, not perfect, but workable. I went upstairs. My wife was asleep. I slipped into bed beside her, stared at the ceiling. Christmas morning, my son handed me coffee. By Christmas night, I knew he wanted me gone. Tomorrow, I'd start figuring out why, and more importantly, what I was going to do about it. Before we continue, hit the hype button, subscribe, and like the video to help the channel grow. Tell us which city you are from in the comments. We'd love to get to know our audience better. I didn't sleep much, maybe 2 hours total. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Trevor's face, that smile, those shaking hands, Jennifer on the bathroom floor. My wife was up before me. I heard her in the kitchen, the coffee maker gurgling, the clink of ceramic, normal morning sounds. Nothing felt normal. I got dressed, went downstairs. She handed me a mug without saying anything. We sat at the table, drank in silence. After a while, she said, "You're going to need help." I know. Professional help, not just me. What kind of professional? Someone who can dig, find things, verify things. A private investigator. Yes. I thought about it, sipped my coffee. It tasted like cardboard. That costs money. We have money. Money that Trevor knows about, money he's been tracking. Then we use money he doesn't know about. I looked at her. Do we have money he doesn't know about? My mother's inheritance. She left it to me directly, not joint. It's in an account under my maiden name. Trevor has no access, no knowledge of it. How much? Enough. I nodded. Okay. Find someone good, discreet. I don't want this coming back on us until we're ready. What are you going to do? I'm going to work. Act normal. Let Trevor think I'm just hurt. Just keeping distance. Let him get comfortable. You think he'll reach out again? Eventually. Once Jennifer is better. Once they've regrouped. And when he does? I'll be ready. She stood, kissed my forehead. Be careful. Always am. She left for work. I stayed home. Called in sick. First time in 3 years. My boss didn't question it. Told me to feel better. To take care of myself. I spent the morning in the workshop. Didn't build anything. Just organized, cleaned, moved things around, kept my hands busy while my mind worked. Around noon, my phone rang. Unknown number. I let it go to voicemail. A minute later, another call. Same number. I answered. Hello? Mr. Brennan, this is Detective Lisa Kowalski with the County Sheriff's Office. Do you have a moment? My stomach dropped. Sure. I'm calling about an incident that occurred yesterday at the residence of Trevor Brennan, your son. I understand you were present when his wife, Jennifer Brennan, became ill. That's right. Can you walk me through what happened? I told her. Kept it simple, factual. Left out the part about switching cups. Just said Jennifer got sick. We called 911. She went to the hospital. And you and your wife left shortly after. We drove to the hospital, stayed for a bit, then went back to their house to collect our things. Drove home. Why didn't you stay? If your daughter-in-law was so sick. Trevor was with her. She was getting medical attention. There wasn't much we could do. But you left the state. We lived 2 hours away. We'd been up since 5 that morning. My wife was tired. We wanted our own bed. I see. Papers rustled on her end. Mr. Brennan, did you notice anything unusual about your son's behavior yesterday morning? I hesitated. Unusual how? Nervous, agitated, out of character. It was Christmas morning. Everyone's a little stressed during the holidays. That's not what I asked. I closed my eyes, took a breath. Why are you calling me, detective? Because Jennifer Brennan told the hospital staff that she thinks someone tried to poison her. Did she say who? No, but she seemed certain it wasn't accidental. The hospital ran a toxicology screen, found syrup of ipecac in her system. Are you familiar with that substance? Vaguely. Makes you throw up. That's right. It's not commonly used anymore, but it's available, and someone gave it to Mrs. Brennan yesterday morning. Someone. Yes. You think it was me. I didn't say that. You called me, asked about my son's behavior, about why I left. You're working your way toward an accusation, so let's skip the dance. Do you think I poisoned Jennifer? She was quiet for a moment. I think someone did. And you were there, and you left very quickly after she got sick. So, yes, Mr. Brennan, I have questions. Then ask them. Did you give Jennifer Brennan ipecac? No. Did you put it in her coffee? No. Did you see anyone else put it in her coffee? I thought about Trevor, about his shaking hands, about the box under his sink. No. Mr. Brennan, if you're protecting someone, I'm not protecting anyone. I answered your questions. Is there anything else? Where were you 3 days ago? At work, then home. Can anyone verify that? My wife, my coworkers, my boss, security cameras at my office. Take your pick. What about your son? Where was he 3 days ago? I have no idea. We don't live together. We don't share calendars. When was the last time you saw him before yesterday? Thanksgiving, almost a month ago. And how was his behavior then? Normal, fine. We ate turkey, watched football, same as always. No arguments, no tension. No more than usual. What's the usual? I rubbed my face. Detective, I've answered your questions. I've been cooperative, but I'm not going to sit here and analyze my relationship with my son for you. If you have evidence that I did something wrong, arrest me. If not, we're done here. Mr. Brennan, are we done? She sighed. For now. But I may need to speak with you again. You know where to find me. I hung up, sat there, stared at my phone. So Jennifer had pointed the finger at me, or at least implied it. Told the cops she'd been poisoned. Let them connect the dots. Smart. They knew about the ipecac, which meant they'd searched Trevor's house, found the box, or maybe he'd admitted to buying it, claimed it was for legitimate reasons, self-defense, protection. But they were still investigating, still asking questions, which meant they didn't have enough to charge anyone, yet. I needed to move faster. My wife came home that evening with a name and a number. His name is Paul, used to be a cop. Now he does private work, mostly insurance fraud, infidelity, but he's good, thorough. Did you tell him what we need? Not details, just that we need someone investigated, background check, financial records, communications, the works. How much? 5,000 retainer, plus expenses. Jesus, it's what it costs. I nodded. Okay, set up a meeting, somewhere neutral, not our house, not his office. Where then? Coffee shop, next town over, tomorrow morning. She made the call, arranged it. 10 a.m. at a place called The Grind. I'd never been there. Probably never would again after this. That night, Trevor called. I didn't answer. He left a voicemail. Dad, it's me. Look, I know you're mad. I know things got weird yesterday. But Jenny's okay. She's home. The doctor said it was probably something she ate, bad shrimp or something. They gave her fluids, sent her home. She's fine now. We're both fine. So, call me back. Please. We need to talk. There's some stuff. Just call me, okay? I deleted the message. An hour later, another voicemail. Jennifer this time. Hi, Dad. She never called me Dad. Always Mr. Brennan. This is Jenny. I just wanted to say thank you for being there yesterday. I know it was scary, and I'm sorry if I said anything weird at the hospital. I was really out of it. The pain was intense. I might have said some things that didn't make sense. The detective called. She said she talked to you. I want you to know that I don't think you had anything to do with what happened, okay? I don't think that. I was confused. In pain. I'm sorry if I caused problems. Please call us back. We miss you. I saved that message, played it 3 times, listened to her tone, her pacing, her word choices. It was rehearsed, every syllable. She'd written it down, practiced it. Trevor probably helped. They needed me to think they'd backed off. That the investigation was nothing. That everyone was fine. They were laying groundwork, building a narrative. Poor, confused Jennifer, sick and delirious, didn't know what she was saying. And kind, forgiving Dad, who would never hurt anyone. Except they'd miscalculated. They thought I'd be relieved, thought I'd call back, smooth things over, move past it. They didn't know I'd found the email, the folder, the plan. I went to bed early, set my alarm for 6. Tomorrow I'd meet Paul, start the real investigation, get answers, and then I'd decide how to use them. Morning came cold and clear. My wife left before me. She had an early meeting, said she'd join me at the grind if she could, told me to be careful. Again. I drove to the next town, found the coffee shop, parked in back, went inside. Paul was already there, sitting in the corner booth, late 50s, gray hair, thick mustache. He looked like every cop I'd ever seen, which I guess made sense. I sat down across from him. Paul? Mr. Brennan. He didn't offer his hand. Your wife said you need someone looked into. My son. His eyebrows went up. Your son. Yes. This about the incident on Christmas? You know about that? I know a detective named Kowalski called you yesterday. I know Jennifer Brennan was hospitalized for suspected poisoning. I know you were there. I make it my business to know things. Then you know why I'm here. I can guess. You think your son tried to hurt you. You want proof. I want the truth. Truth and proof aren't always the same thing. Then I want both. He pulled out a notepad. Tell me everything. Start from the beginning. Leave nothing out. I did. Took 20 minutes. The coffee, the switched cups, Jennifer getting sick, the ipecac under the sink, the folder in the office, the email, the phone calls, the detective. Paul took notes, asked questions, clarified details. When I finished, he sat back, tapped his pen against the table. This is bad, he said. I know. I mean really bad. If you're right, if they planned this, they didn't just want to make you sick. They wanted control, financial control, which means they think you have something worth taking. I have some money, retirement savings, the house, nothing extraordinary. How much are we talking? Liquid assets? Maybe 400,000. Retirement accounts? Another 600. The house is paid off, worth maybe 350. This time. What about next time? What if the ipecac didn't work the way they wanted? What if they decided to escalate? That's why I'm here. He nodded. Okay. Here's what I can do. I can pull your son's financial records, see if he's in debt, desperate. I can check his communications, emails, texts, phone calls, see if there's evidence of planning. I can interview people he knows, see if anyone noticed changes in behavior, and I can verify the timeline, make sure everything lines up. How long will that take? Depends. If he's sloppy, maybe a week. If he's careful, could be a month or more. I don't have a month. Why not? Because the longer this goes, the more chance he has to try again, or cover his tracks, or disappear. You think he'd run? I think if he realizes I'm investigating him, he might do something stupid. Paul closed his notepad. Mr. Brennan, I'm going to be straight with you. What you're describing is a criminal conspiracy. If I find evidence, you need to take it to the police, not handle it yourself. I understand. Do you? Because you've got a look in your eye that says otherwise. What look? The look of a man planning something. Something that doesn't involve cops or lawyers. I didn't respond. Paul leaned forward. I've seen this before. Father and son. Money, betrayal. It never ends well. Someone always gets hurt. Usually the person who thinks they're in control. I'll be careful. That's what they all say. He stood. I'll start today. I'll call you in 48 hours with an update. In the meantime, don't contact your son. Don't respond to his calls or messages. Don't give him any indication you're looking into this. Understood. And Mr. Brennan, if he shows up at your house, if he tries to see you in person, you call me immediately. Don't engage, don't argue, just call. Why? Because men who do what your son did don't stop. They double down, and I don't want you becoming a statistic. He left. I sat there. Finished my coffee. It was cold. My phone buzzed. Text from Trevor. Dad, please, just call me. 5 minutes, that's all I ask. I put the phone away. Drove home, my wife was waiting. How did it go? He's on it. What now? Now we wait. For how long? 2 days. He'll call with an update. She nodded, looked worried. Are you sure about this? No, but I'm doing it anyway. That afternoon I went to work. Tried to focus. Couldn't. Kept thinking about Trevor, about the plan, about what came next. My boss stopped by my desk. You feeling better? Yeah, just a 24-hour thing. Good. We need you on the Patterson account. They're getting antsy. I'll handle it. I didn't handle it. Sat at my desk, stared at my computer, responded to emails on autopilot, left at 4, told my boss I still wasn't 100%. He waved me off, told me to rest. At home, I found a package on the doorstep. No return address, just my name. I brought it inside, opened it carefully. Inside was a burner phone and a note. In case you need to reach me without being tracked. P. Smart. I powered it on, saved Paul's number, put my regular phone in a drawer, carried the burner. That night, my wife and I ate dinner in silence, picked at our food. Neither of us had much appetite. I keep thinking, she said, about when Trevor was little, about the time he broke his arm. Remember? Fell off the jungle gym. He didn't cry. Not once. Not when it happened. Not in the emergency room. Not when they set the bone. You held his hand the whole time, and afterward, he looked at you and said, I'm tough like you, Dad. Do you remember? Yeah. Where did that boy go? I don't know. Do you think he's still in there somewhere? I looked at her. Does it matter? It matters to me. Then yes, maybe. I hope so. She started crying. Real crying this time. Not the quiet kind from before. I got up, held her, let her get it out. By December, I'd almost convinced myself it was over. Trevor was gone. Jennifer was gone. Life had settled into a rhythm. Work, home, my wife. Simple routines that didn't include betrayal or fear. Then the letters started. First one came on a Tuesday. Plain, white envelope, no return address, postmarked from 3 states away. I opened it at the kitchen table while my wife made dinner. Inside was a single sheet of paper. 1 sentence, handwritten. You took everything from me. Now I'll take everything from you. No signature. But I knew the handwriting. Jennifer's, precise, controlled. Every letter perfectly formed. I showed it to my wife. She read it. Set it down. Should we call the police? And tell them what? That my ex-daughter-in-law sent a vague threat? It's not vague. She's threatening you. She's angry, probably drunk. It doesn't mean anything. You don't know that. I folded the letter, put it back in the envelope. I'll keep it, just in case, but I'm not overreacting to 1 letter. 2 days later, another letter came. Same envelope, same handwriting, different message. You thought you won. You didn't. This isn't over. My wife wanted to call Paul. I said no, said we were just feeding into it, giving them the reaction they wanted. 3rd letter came on Sunday. Every night when you sleep, I think about what you did, what you took, and I plan. This one I called Paul about. He came over that afternoon, read all 3 letters. This is escalating. I can see that. You need to take this seriously. This isn't just angry ranting. This is someone making a promise. What do you want me to do? I can't arrest her for sending letters. No, but you can document them, file a police report, start building a case for harassment, and you can take precautions. What kind of precautions? Security system, cameras, motion sensors. I can have someone install them this week. That seems excessive. So did poisoning someone. But here we are. He was right. I knew he was right. But part of me resisted. Part of me didn't want to live in fear, didn't want to turn my house into a fortress because my son's ex-wife was having a breakdown. But another part of me remembered Christmas morning, remembered the shaking hands, the too wide smile, remembered how close I'd come to drinking from that cup. Okay, I said. Do it. The security system was installed 3 days later. Cameras on every entrance, motion sensors in the yard, alerts sent directly to my phone. The installer walked me through everything, showed me how to access the feeds, how to review footage, how to lock down the system remotely if needed. My wife hated it, said it made our home feel like a prison, said she couldn't relax knowing we were being watched. I told her we were doing the watching, not someone else. That seemed to help, a little. The letters kept coming, one every few days, always the same postmark, always the same handwriting, each one slightly more specific, more threatening. I know where you work. I know your routines. I know when you're alone. Paul said to save them all, keep them in a safe place, build a file. I did, a manila folder in my desk drawer, growing thicker each week. I started checking the cameras obsessively, morning, noon, night, before bed, looking for anything unusual, anyone lurking, strange cars, unfamiliar faces. Found nothing, just neighbors, mail carriers, delivery drivers, normal suburban life continuing around us. My wife noticed. You're getting paranoid. I'm being careful. You're obsessing. You check those cameras 20 times a day. Because I need to know we're safe. We are safe. The letters are just words, empty threats. You don't know that. Neither do you. You're letting her win, letting her control you with fear. She was right. Again. But I couldn't stop. Every time my phone buzzed with a motion alert, my heart jumped. Every time I heard a car door close, I looked out the window. Every night I did a full perimeter check before bed. Tested the locks, verified the alarm, made sure everything was secure. I wasn't sleeping much, maybe 4 hours a night. My wife would wake up and find me in the living room, watching the camera feeds, looking for threats that never materialized. This can't continue, she said one night. You're destroying yourself. I'm protecting us. No, you're letting her destroy you without her even being here. That's what she wants. She wants you afraid, broken, and you're giving it to her. What do you want me to do? Ignore it? I want you to live your life. I want you to stop letting Trevor and Jennifer dictate how we exist in our own home. It's not that simple. It is that simple. You just don't want to admit it. We argued, really argued, first time in years. She said I was obsessed, said I'd let this consume me, said I was becoming someone she didn't recognize. I said she didn't understand, didn't see the danger, didn't know what they were capable of. She said I was the only one who didn't see what was happening, that I was the one who'd changed, become cold, suspicious, cruel. The word hung between us. Cruel. I wanted to argue, to tell her she was wrong, but I couldn't, because maybe she was right. Maybe I had become cruel. Maybe that's what survival required. We didn't talk much after that, just coexisted, ships passing. She did her thing, I did mine. The distance grew. The letters continued. By February, I had 43 of them, each one cataloged, dated, filed. Then they stopped. Just stopped. No warning, no explanation. One day, there was a letter. Next day, nothing. Day after that, nothing. Week went by, nothing. I waited for the next phase, the next escalation. Whatever came after the letters, but nothing came. Paul said that was worse. Said silence after threats usually meant planning, meant something was coming, something bigger. He increased patrols around my house, had an associate drive by twice a day, check for anything unusual, report back, still nothing. Work became my escape. The only place I didn't think about Jennifer, about threats, about what might happen next. I took on extra projects, Stayed late, came home exhausted, collapsed into bed, slept a few hours. Started again. My wife noticed, didn't say anything, just watched me with sad eyes, like she was mourning someone who was still alive. March came. Still no letters, no contact, no incidents. Paul said to stay vigilant, said people like Jennifer were patient, would wait months if needed, would strike when you least expected it. I stayed vigilant, checked the cameras, tested the locks, did my perimeter checks, lived in a constant state of readiness for something that never came. Then, on a Wednesday afternoon, my phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but something made me. Hello? Heavy breathing. Then, hello, Mr. Brennan. Jennifer's voice, cold, controlled, exactly how I remembered it. What do you want? I want you to know that I haven't forgotten, that I'll never forget. Is that all? No. I also want you to know that you were right, about everything. Trevor was weak. The plan was stupid. We deserved what happened. Then why the letters? Why the threats? Because I was angry. Because I needed someone to blame. Because it was easier than accepting responsibility. And now? Now I'm done. I'm moving on. Getting help, therapy, AA, all the things I should have done a long time ago. I don't believe you. I don't care if you believe me. I'm not calling for your approval. I'm calling to tell you I'm done. No more letters, no more threats. I'm letting this go. Just like that. I didn't know what to say. Didn't trust it. Didn't trust her. If you're lying, I'm not. But you'll never believe that. You'll spend the rest of your life waiting for me to come back, to finish what I started. And that's your punishment. Not fear, not danger, just the constant anticipation of it. She hung up. I sat there, phone in hand, mind racing. Was she telling the truth? Was it really over, or was this another game, another manipulation? I called Paul, told him about the conversation. He said to assume it was a setup, said people like Jennifer don't just give up, don't just move on. But weeks passed, then months. No letters, no calls, no threats, just silence. The cameras showed nothing. The motion sensors stayed quiet. Life returned to something resembling normal. My wife started talking to me again, really talking, not just functional exchanges about dinner and bills. Real conversations, about feelings, about the future, about us. She said she'd been scared, not of Jennifer, of me, of what I'd become, of the cold, calculating person who'd systematically destroyed his own son's life. I told her I'd done what I had to do, that I'd do it again if needed. She said that was what scared her most, that I would, that I'd become capable of it without hesitation, without guilt. I asked if she wanted me to feel guilty, if she wanted me to apologize for protecting us. She said no. She just wanted me to acknowledge the cost, to recognize what I'd lost in the process, to see that I'd become the thing I'd fought against. I didn't answer. Couldn't. Because she was right. I had become something else. Something harder, colder, more willing to hurt people who hurt me. And I didn't know if I could go back, if I wanted to go back. We talked about removing it, scaling it back, going back to how things were before. But I couldn't. Every time I thought about taking down the cameras, I remembered the letters, the threats, the coffee. I remembered how quickly things could go wrong, how close danger could get. So the cameras stayed, the motion sensors stayed, the routine stayed. Check in the morning, check at lunch, check before bed. My wife stopped commenting on it, just accepted it as the new normal, the price of safety, the cost of what we'd been through. We didn't talk about Trevor, not anymore. He was a ghost, a memory of a person who used to exist. Sometimes I'd think about calling him, checking in, seeing if he was okay. But I never did, because what would I say? Sorry I destroyed your life? Sorry you tried to poison me? Sorry we became enemies instead of family? None of it would change anything. The damage was done. The bridge was burned. We were strangers now. Maybe we always had been. Fall came. Then winter. A year since the confrontation. Since Paul had stood in my basement recording everything. Since Trevor and Jennifer had sat at my table planning to steal my life. A year of letters and threats and fear. A year of cameras and locks and constant vigilance. A year of becoming someone I barely recognized. My wife asked if I thought it was worth it, if keeping my money and my safety was worth losing my son, worth becoming this person, worth living this way. I told her yes, told her I'd make the same choice again, that survival wasn't just physical, it was psychological, financial, maintaining control of your own life. She nodded, didn't argue, just looked sad. That night I checked the cameras one last time, tested the locks, did my perimeter walk. Everything was secure, everything was safe. But I didn't feel safe, didn't feel secure, just felt tired, worn down, waiting for something that might never come, or might come tomorrow. That was the worst part, the not knowing, the constant state of readiness, the inability to ever fully relax. Jennifer had been right. My punishment wasn't fear, it was the anticipation of it, the endless waiting for the next threat, the next betrayal, the next attempt. I'd won the battle, but I was losing the war. Slowly, day by day, camera check by camera check, and there was no end in sight. Just an endless present, stretching forward, forever vigilant, forever ready, forever afraid to let my guard down. Because the moment I did, that's when they'd strike. That's when whatever came next would arrive. So I waited, and watched, and prepared, and slowly became the person my wife feared I'd become. Cold, hard, alone, but alive. And that had to be enough.